Come on.
Sing gin, 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 give me tandazo. Sing gin, 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 give me tandazo. Give me tandazo, give me tandazo. Give me tandazo, give me tandazo. Oh, mama bagundala babe tandaza. Oh, mama bagundala babe tandaza. Babe tandaza. This is a West African chant, Babe Tandaza. It invites the ancestors and asks them to give us mercy and watch over us. And so today, we honor and recognize the Creator in you. Stories are very important to cultures all across the globe. Stories teach us, stories help us to remember, stories challenge us. There are all kinds of stories. There are stories that are rooted in truth, and the truthfulness of the story depends on who is telling the story. So I'm going to tell you a few stories, and I promise to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I want to first start with a parable that was passed on to me by my godmother, B.B. Ross Coker. And this parable is about a very regal, esteemed woman. She was revered in her community. She was trusted. And she was given a precious coin to protect and to take care of. And guess what? She lost that coin. And she searched and she searched and she looked and she swept and she illuminated every corner of her home. And she was so distraught because she lost that which she was to protect. And after many, many years, when she least suspected it, she found that coin. And she rejoiced because she had lost that which, she had found that which was lost. And so I want to tell you another story that typifies how we have lost our children. We are losing our children. And I want to end by giving you some inspiration and some hope that we too can rejoice and find the children that we have lost. So Brown, Black, and Blue, a modern day love story, is a story of Kuumba Academy, a very small charter school located in the city of Wilmington. I want to provide a little context for the story of Kuumba Academy because Kuumba Academy was founded by parents, pre-K parents, empowered parents at the Christina Cultural Arts Center. And they really urged the artists at the Christina Cultural Arts Center, people in the community, retired teachers, to open a school where their children could be loved and nurtured, where their children would learn about and find out who they are, not only as individuals, but who are they within the context of the African American tradition. And we have challenges in this country. You all know, you hear all about education. We hear about test scores. And so test and diagnostic tools are very, very important because we need to understand our children gaining the information that's being taught. But we don't talk about sparking the curiosity in children. We don't talk about loving our children. And wouldn't it be awesome if we were very focused in on loving and learning how to love as children and adults, and also learning how to be literate? Isn't that an idea worth considering? So urban education typically is spoken of in hushed tones, laced with frustration and the blame game. And urban education is characterized by typically large districts in cities have many, many children that are struggling academically. They tend to have high dropout rates. Public schools in urban communities often serve students that live in high concentrations of poverty, growing immigrant populations speaking multiple languages, and the social phenomena that exist in these communities: extreme unemployment, low levels of education, substance abuse, language barriers, high mobility. The list goes on. These children live in these communities and come into schools bearing the weight of those conditions on their shoulders. So they are in need of supports both inside and outside the classrooms. Most recently, Dr. Yasser Payne at the University of Delaware conducted a study in South Wilmington and East Wilmington, and he raised this question, and he trained people from those communities to do participatory action research. Not just research where academicians come into a community and get information and publish it, but to actually train people in those communities to ask those questions. Is there a relationship between structural violence, unemployment, institutional racism, access barriers to health care, poor education? Is there a relationship between structural violence and physical violence? And the answer, tested, is yes. Those kind of conditions do create desperate actions and inactions. And so we ask, what is going on in our communities? What is going on? We have too many people that are crying, and too many brothers and sisters that are dying.
Brother, far too many of you dying.
And yes, and this is what we do at the Christina Cultural Arts Center, we improvise. We have too many children that do not learn about the inspirational stories of people that come from very, very, very similar conditions to their own. People who have overcome great adversity, like Dr. Benjamin S. Carson, who was thought to be special education, and he is one of the most preeminent neurosurgeons in this country at Johns Hopkins University. So we want to teach our children about themselves and teach them that they can overcome adversity. So what if urban education in the 21st century achieved the balance between adults and children alike, learning to be loving and literate? I said that before, and I want to repeat that again. Imagine the real value of formal education as an exploration of one's innate curiosity, creativity, and compassion. Let me say that again. Imagine that we learn compassion for one another. Wouldn't the world be a better place? Imagine students as positive agents of social change rather than proficiency scores, data points, metrics, and behavioral problems. Just imagine that. So here's where you come in, because in the African American tradition, we have call and response, and I'm sure in other cultures you do too. So as you look at these statistics, if you think we can do better than that, I want you to shout out loud that we can do better than this as a world, as a society, as a state, in Delaware and across this nation. So these are Delaware statistics. Did you know that roughly 40% of children in urban areas do not attend preschool? They come to kindergarten behind. Did you know that early learning providers are generally not rated high quality? Only 17% of the providers located in the city are rated in the top levels of quality, which is called the STARS program. That reading by grade 3, reading on level by grade 3 is an indicator of success, of completion of high school. And that those students that are not reading on grade level by the 3rd grade, by the end of the 3rd grade, they have a 25% chance of being on grade reading level by the 10th grade. That almost half of the students in Wilmington are not reading on grade level. Almost half of the students in Wilmington do not read on grade level through no fault of their own. Because remember, who is to be the protector of our treasures? Who is the protector of our coins, our treasures? We are. 53% of the students in the city of Wilmington are proficient by 3rd grade reading as in the last year's DCAS scores, compared with 76% of students statewide. Only 29% of city schools meet the state proficiency in reading and math. And this number is moving all around. Between 55 to 69% of city residents do not graduate high school. I had a colleague say, well, the number's moving all around. I'm a numbers guy. We got to get one number, Ray. We can't just talk about all these different numbers. And I said, guess what? The number's too high. That's all. That's all. The number's too high. This is too high. So I lay this down for you as a backdrop to explain to you why. I didn't want to do it, but why, when the parents said, please open the school. And we knew these parents didn't have private tuition. And it came on the heels of the passage of the Charter School Act. And while I am a proponent of excellence wherever it may lie, we needed that state and that local funding to open this school. And so we had nothing but a dream and an idea, and we were compelled by the responsibility for our children. And so we took a leap of faith and applied for a charter in 1997. It was granted in 1998. In 2001, we opened Kuumba Academy because our children are precious. They are special. Yes, they are. I am special.
And I have something to say. I hope you take the time to hear me today. Please guide me, show me which way to go. I'll show you what I have inside me. Stand aside and watch me grow. Just because I'm small don't mean that you shouldn't take the time to hear me. Just because I'm small, you'll see. I'll show you what I can be. Just because I'm small don't mean you shouldn't take the time to hear me. Just because I'm small, you'll see. I'll show you what I can be.
That's Kuumba Academy School song. That's just the first part of it. Give her a round of applause, please. I don't know how to read this clock, Julie. I don't know how to read this clock that's ticking away up here. So you see this beautiful building? This is a Frank Furness building for all of you historians, architects in the audience. And I said we didn't have anything, so we went to the then mayor of the city of Wilmington, James Sills, and you know, people poo-poo charter schools then and they poo-poo them now. And he said, why should we do anything for you? We have all these charters, they're draining resources from the public school, and we said, listen, we can do better. We can do better. And so he said, well, he just wasn't convinced. And one of my colleagues, Ken Brown, he banged his head on the table. He said, because you should give us this building. I said, don't give it to us, sell it to us. We didn't have any money, but I said, because it's business, just sell it to us. He banged his head and he said, Ken Brown said, we have a trusted, proven track record at the Christina Cultural Arts Center. That's why you should sell us that building. And he thought about it, he paused, and he said, yes. We'll sell this building to you for $200,000. So, yay! Then we didn't have any money to renovate it. It had been vacant for many, many, many years. So we ran down MBNA, Lance Weaver. He said, we don't want children downtown. We want a vibrant downtown. That's not in our vision to have a school downtown. That would create too much congestion. So come back when you get a charter, if you get a charter. Came back a year later, he still wasn't convinced. The third meeting, we had this fancy presentation. I was late, I was running downtown. I got in the room, they thought I was nervous, but I was having an asthma attack, and I don't have asthma because I had to run all the way down the street really fast. And he just wasn't convinced, and I said, listen, forget the presentation. All I want to know is how can we get you to yes? And he thought about it, and he said, yes, I will go, and I will talk to Charles Cawley. And Charles Cawley gave us a multi-year grant to renovate this building. That's called a leap of faith. So the Christina Cultural Arts Center and Kuumba Academy are partners, a nonprofit public school partnership that's very unique, committed to educational excellence through academics and arts integration, through technology and family engagement. Yeah, this is the Kuumba model. Can you see it? It's a circle. Because one thing is not more important than the other. And we place student achievement, not just academic achievement, but personal achievement at the heart of the model. Cultural identity, community partnerships, including district partnerships. We're the only charter school that the district has partnered with. And you can see the other things. Family engagement, data-driven instruction. Our head of school is a master at that. You can see that in the city of Wilmington, the poverty rate is more than twice that in the state of Delaware. And at Kuumba Academy, our poverty rate is 86%. The student body is 98% African American, a little under 300 students. And anybody can come to Kuumba Academy. I want you to know that. So guess what? Here's the real story. After 10 years of many, many tears, remember it's a blues story. So a blues is adventure, it's hardship, it's rejoicing, it's tears, it's triumph. That's the Kuumba Academy story. Take a look at how Kuumba Academy students, these poor students that we as a society are willing to throw away, look how they perform. In grade 3, in grade 4, they are exceeding the state average in math. We had a little dip in the 5th grade because we had some new students, but that's okay, we'll get them ready. In reading performance, they are exceeding the state average in every grade in reading performance. And so now, thank you. They're clapping for you. They're clapping for you. How did I do that? So, remember we started from nothing? There are things that have happened in this story that are inexplicable because we know that there is a power and a higher authority that is driving this charge. And we want you to join us because of the things we think we can do more. We are now expanding our school and opening it to students, more students pre-K. That's what Christina Cultural Arts Center runs, a pre-K program. More students K through 5. It's an elementary school. And we just got approved to add a middle school. So we want you to join us in this fight for educational equity. Because at the end of the day, everything that happens in America really happens because of the American people. We're moving Kuumba Academy to the old Bracebridge building on French Street. It is now called the Community Education Building. It is opening in the fall of 2014. Today is our day. We are off and away. We need you to help us to defy the myth that poor children and children of color cannot have high performance, both personal and academic, that we are striving for excellence. We are transforming the educational landscape for the city of Wilmington. We are preparing our students for success. Woo, it's a lot. But I do thank you for your attention because things are going to get better because of good people like you. Thank you so much. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Our time ran out, come on, y'all. Yeah, yeah, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Woo!